to spoil these episodes. I can't wait to spoil.
Took me a second on this music. I'm like, what is this start?
Wow.
So disappointed in myself.
Are you a true believer?
Oh,
I don't think you are.
Don't even start with me.
No. You didn't catch this.
Well, I caught it. It just took me a second.
When it came out.
Oh. Still, like, there's 2 video games that I've spent, like, I've just left the title screen on. This game and Final Fantasy VII. 2 video games that I could just turn the title screen on and never turn it off.
This must be Halo.
100%.
Yes, it is.
Oh, see, had no clue. If it was Gears of War, I would have probably known.
If it was a third-person shooter, he'd know exactly what it was.
How do you not get into Halo? Is it just because it's a first-person shooter?
So that's the thing. It's not that I don't get into it. I'm terrible at first-person shooters.
You don't have to be good to enjoy it.
I just said that. You just said exactly what I said. It's not that I don't enjoy it. I like the story and stuff, but what I'm saying is I can't put my brain power into getting into the lore and stuff like that when I don't play the game. So so my thing is I can, spend a little more time on the ones that I can actually play. So, give me Batman Arkham series or give me Gears of War. Just let me see my dude on the screen. Like, give me GTA. You know what I'm saying? Give me what's the one, the cowboy joint? Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
I
love
the
Rockstar series. Because I played LA Noir too.
Okay.
I never played that one.
It's so not for kids. Like, I get it. None of the Rockstar games are really for kids.
Yeah.
But it's like, so what you're doing, you're like a detective investigating murders, and whoever the dude that was murdering people, he's like leaving chicks butt ass everywhere. So it's crazy. It's like, whoa.
I don't think I've actually played the series. Is there 1 or 2 of them? No,
it's only one. I almost spoiled it. I'm glad I didn't, but no, there's only one. So it's a good game.
It's worth checking out.
I would. Oh yeah, you highly encourage you to play.
Right.
Yeah. Especially, I know it'll probably look real good on next gen too.
Is it a newer game or has it been remastered?
No, it's been, well. See, they remastered it. It was on like PlayStation 3, but they remastered it for the 4. So even still, it's gonna look really good.
Well, I'll track it down then. I've got a bunch of money in my account. I'll spend some of it.
All right, well, send some on my way.
I mean, you need to do that where you can gift, like, if you have money in your wallet, where you can gift it.
Man, I got Game Pass, so I'm straight for right now. I gotta have to play.
That is the way I've heard to go.
Sony's gonna have to come up with an answer. Like, if they will. And I know we're gonna talk about this stuff later, so I won't go off on a whole tangent here. I'll go off on a tiny tangent. But if you look at Microsoft's E3 press conference, like, man, they're making serious headway with Game Pass. Like, every single thing that they announced, except for I think 3 games, were Game Pass day one.
Yeah,
and it's hard to pass up when you're talking like AAA, like major releases day one for free.
Well, the thing is they followed the pattern of like all the streaming services. They're treating it like a streaming service. So it's like, look, you get the Xbox Live and all the games that come out at day one by paying, the $14.99 a month, and with the $14.99 a month, it also for PC and the mobile games. So it's like, I mean,
it's really, really hard to pass on that. And you've also got to look at the what was I just totally spaced out. Oh yeah, so they said that they were going to try and have one major release every quarter, which is huge. Like, if they can actually pull that off, because right now Xbox has been so just dry since Halo didn't make it last year. They pushed it. There's just, there's not a lot of stuff coming. And now we're starting to see a little more trickle. But if they could hit that mark of having one major AAA release every quarter and then put that on Game Pass, I mean, it's hard to say no to Game Pass. It's really hard to say no. So, yeah. I don't know. Sony has no answer for it right now. None.
Well, that's good. I need Xbox to stay on top. So, but before we jump off the video games real quick, I'm interested in seeing why Nintendo didn't say anything about Nintendo Pro, the Switch Pro.
So they came out and they said, I think it was a week or two before, they said this was going to be only software focused. So I'm really curious because we've had rumors now for a year and a half about the Pro? About a year and a half, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't announce it a year ago. It was like rumors, wasn't it?
Well, it's still not even announced.
Well, I meant, yes, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying we actually had something semi-drop like a couple of months ago where they said there was more to the rumor. It wasn't just a rumor at that point.
Yeah, I think somebody got something. I think somebody got some specs from the factory or something like that.
Yeah, I think what they said, they sent out the accessories. They sent out their specs to the accessory companies.
Okay.
And so that's why they're thinking that this is what X, Y, and Z are going to look like. So,
you know, Nintendo had every opportunity to win E3 this year, and I know we'll get in later, but I mean, Nintendo had every opportunity, and their press conference was so disappointing. Like, I mean, it was just so disappointing. They didn't talk about most of what everybody wanted to hear, and what they did show of Breath of the Wild 2, which, I mean, it was just another brief trailer. I don't think it was as good as the first trailer, and I mean, it just leaves a lot of now. Obviously, people loved it and stuff like that, but it was so short, showed next to no gameplay. Like, and then they showed a lot of people were hoping we get it this year. Instead, no, they pushed to 2022, and you're just like, it was just so disappointing. Like, and I get it. I think this is the year that we really see the effects of COVID on the video game industry, because if you look, like, the vast majority of AAA titles have been pushed to 2022. We got a few trickling in this year, but for the most part, the vast majority of the newer stuff is coming next year, which makes 2022 is going to be insane. But, having to move all your developers to working at home, I think we're really starting to see the ramifications of that. Studios just haven't been able to get the polish and then get the amount of productivity they would have if everybody was in the actual studio. So I get why it happened, but it was disappointing for me.
I also salute them, though. But this is why I salute them. First, I'll say, but what company really blew you away at E3? From the conversations you and I had, nothing was really mind blowing.
No, Microsoft was the best, but even then, most of their stuff is 2022.
Right. But the other thing, though, the reason why I say I salute Nintendo is because they didn't come out there with like talking about, what if they would have came out there and shown specs and stuff for the Pro and it's not ready? Don't come out there promising something and showing like specs and stuff like that. Yes, they had to show something. And I'm agreeing with all of your points that COVID probably had a key element in why it was so underwhelming. But I'm saying, if it wasn't ready, then don't show it, because that way you can have your own event where it's like, hey, Nintendo's announcing something this date. It doesn't matter what the date is. If they just show a clip of something, and you know what I'm saying, it's
you're not wrong. You'll be able to build all the hype. I mean, and that's all you got to do is say, well, hey guys, we're having another treehouse, and then everybody's hype. So you can develop that hype. And you're right. Like, my guess is we've seen the production delays in the Xbox. We've seen the delays in the PS5. Like, you still can't get hold of one. I mean, you go to eBay right now, they're still over $1,000. Like, we've seen the production delays, and they're still having the chip delays. So if you can't put that many of them out, I mean, why try and push something out this year that's not ready? So push it in 2022 and make it yes, exactly. And you drop it with the release of Breath of the Wild 2, and then you're going to have a huge fourth quarter next year.
Well, Microsoft learned last year, though, with Halo Infinite when they dropped it, and it looked worse than the original Halo in graphics, and people were like, what the F?
But I have a serious, and this is probably my biggest issue, my absolute biggest issue from E3 was Microsoft. I think Microsoft won the press conference battle. They showed enough games. They showed that they're making progress with all these studios they've purchased. But here's where I have the problem. We get the teaser for Starfield, and they confirmed that everything that we saw, and that was not CGI, it was in-game engine, which is just massive. Now, we've seen no gameplay. We know nothing about the story, but they give us a definitive. They give us it's in-game engine, so that's what the game can look like, or that's inside the engine of the game. So that should be fairly close to what we see in a final product, as opposed to CGI trailer, which we normally get. But that all aside,
there's a difference though between what
gameplay.
They can play,
right,
and the actual gameplay. It's like Destiny's, their little sections where they drop and you get to see stuff, the video basically, and then you drop into yourself. Yeah, it looks good, but it doesn't look as good as that actual animation that they built.
But the fact that they're doing that and non-CGI gives me hope for Starfield. And like I said, we've got to see gameplay. We need to know story. But I mean, we know. I mean, they have a huge track record. I mean, you look at Skyrim, you look at all the other stuff that they put out. Like they've got the track record for it.
Bro, what was that game that they put out that was completely not ready for the next gen stuff, but the computer was okay?
Cyberpunk.
That was such an epic fail. Maybe Nintendo was like, "Nah, bro, we ain't doing that."
Dude, Cyberpunk still. I think we finally have a date on when PlayStation's going to allow it back on the store. But I mean, like that was as big of a disaster.
The memes from that were ridiculous.
That was as big of a disaster, and from a company that was so well trusted. Like if you look at CD Projekt Red, that's the company that put out Cyberpunk. If you look at their track record and you look at their history, they were one of the most reputable and like most beloved companies. They could do no wrong until they came out and did wrong. And then the way they handled it, and they handled it so poorly. And it was well orchestrated, because if you look at the buildup to Cyberpunk, if you look at the buildup, they only released PC build copies. So all the reviewers got PC copies. They didn't show any PS4. They didn't show any Xbox. And it's because they knew that those were piles of garbage. Now, I bought my copy. I bought the collector's edition on the Xbox. I had my collector's edition pre-ordered, and then I got it day one. And then all the stuff came out about how terrible it was. Well, I just bought a new PC. So I turned around and bought another copy of the game on PC. And then I sold my copy to a friend, which I feel bad for that friend now. But so, I've bought two copies of the game. Yeah, exactly. Well, we didn't know how bad it was until after he had bought it. But I mean, I love the game. It looks amazing on PC, but it is literally unplayable on the previous gen. So if it's that bad, like CD Projekt Red knew it, and they've already delayed the game for like 3 years, push it another year and save yourself all the bad PR. But going back to my original point, and then I'll move on. You look at what they did with Starfield. They gave us a date, 11/11 of 2022, for a game that we've all been waiting on. This is the first glimpse. And then you look at the game that they've already delayed for a full year in Halo. And they just say holiday 2021. They don't announce the date. They don't announce any of the collector's editions. They don't give us anything definitive on Halo. Now they showed a little bit, but it worries me, and I'm a little put off as to why they would push this so much. Because even if you look at all their preview stuff, it had Halo front and center. So they showed us a ton of multiplayer, and the game does look better. But why can't they commit to a date?
I think it's exactly for the reason we just got finished talking about, right? Like you this is the title, right? This would be like if Nintendo was putting out a Mario game to start the new console and then it flopped.
Mario couldn't hit this block.
This is your flagship character, the face of your console. It has to be right. So the thing is that I know you would rather them take the time to get it right than to drop it just to say we dropped it, but we got another patch coming on Christmas. Like I think I'm to the point. For one, they can blame COVID. That's one thing. Hey, we didn't have it around here. COVID happened, so it delayed us terribly. Yep. I would have front and center had that. But look, this is what we do have for you to show. But I'm okay with them just giving a date, like a general date, without putting a firm date. Only because when this drops, this could be what pushes. And plus, the production of Xbox is still, again, they're having just as much issues as PlayStation. So you don't want to have this drop. Excuse me. You don't want to have this drop and not have a console to even play it on. Like it's so much. So I'm for them to push it back.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to them delaying it again. I'm just saying if because they've already said that it's coming holiday of 2021. If you know that it's coming then it just seems weird to me that they haven't finalized a date. So I'm wondering, and this is what I'm very curious about, is I'm wondering if we're going to get another delay. I'm wondering if they're still polishing some stuff and they go ahead and push it into early 2022, which I'm not opposed to. Because I'm with you.
I would say summer. I would have went ahead and said summer of 2022, right? And then if it gets done early, you push it.
You push the date up.
Push the date up. Like, then it's a whole different buzz, right? Like, it's one of those, because Halo is that big of a game. You know how, like, if Beyonce dropped at midnight, everybody's going to have it the next morning because it's the word of mouth of how big Beyonce is, right? That's what Halo would do. It's like, yo, did y'all see Halo was in the store? Like, what? And then it's boom, blows up Twitter. Like, that's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and announce it later and then push it early. Psh, your fans will be like, oh my God, bro.
And then what a massive move on Microsoft and 343's part. Like, making the multiplayer portion of the game free to play is brilliant.
Yeah.
It is such a brilliant move. You're going to sell battle passes. You're probably going to have some skins and stuff like that. So they'll make money from the microtransaction standpoint. But you look at Warzone, you look at Fortnite, you look at the other major multiplayer games right now, Apex, all free to play. And they're making money hand over fist through microtransactions with the skins and the different things you can sell in that. But what a brilliant move. If you're going to push this game into the esports arena, and if you really want to catch the vast majority of the audience, making it free to play is a massive move. Because now I play Halo mainly for the single player campaign. I'm a massive Master Chief fan, but I will dive into multiplayer. So you're going to have plenty of people buy, the full version of the game so they can get the single player, because a lot of people want to know what's going on with Master Chief and Cortana and stuff like that. So you're still going to get that. But then you get the people who are like, well, I've never played a Halo game, or I'm just a big multiplayer game guy, or I'm an esports person. And so then they get the free version of the game, and you start making money through your battle passes and your microtransactions. But you open the player base up, I mean, just exponentially. It's so smart of Microsoft.
Last video game question for y'all. You can only choose one. Halo or Destiny?
Okay, so are we talking about LAN party Halo, or are we talking Destiny now and Halo now?
Want to take that? I just the face that Shane gave me. Why I asked that question, because the torture that I just put him through. That's like asking him to choose which one of his kids. That it was the face for me. That's all it was.
I could probably. I'm not even going to say that. Thanks for listening. I'm not even going to say that. It's hard for me because like part of my love for Destiny is that it's Bungie, the same people who did Halo. So like those two games, and I know they're completely different, but those two games are so intertwined for me because like I'm a fan of anything Bungie does. Like if
it's
Bungie
got the
puts
feel,
something,
though.
yes, it you've got a little bit of that Halo in there. Man, I'm a Destiny nut. Okay. I am a Destiny nut, but I'm also like, I mean, just look behind me. You're gonna see there's Halo stuff and there's Destiny stuff. Like,
yeah, that's why I wanted to ask, because I mean, I know you guys were. I've never played Destiny a day in my life. I've seen a friend of mine play it, and I know like there's like different seasons or whatever the case may be. So, and I know you are a big Destiny guy, but I also know your love for Halo, so that's why I was asking. But just the face alone, the face you made. You almost choked on your water just thinking about it.
I don't know that it's a decision I could actually make. Like, I really don't. I really don't.
I guess that was our E3 talk.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun on all that. So
it's okay. You can't help it.
No, I really can't.
But,
I mean,
anyway,
got something special, Shane. We got something special. I can't wait.
Got something special. I don't know what special is.
You know what special is? Who is our sponsor?
Oh, yes. I forgot
a brilliant
all about
transition
that. We completely skipped everything. By the way, we're the Marauders. Just so everybody that's out there that doesn't know who we are and they just jumped on. Anyways, okay, so we are the Marauders every Thursday, 7:30. You've got to join us. Jump in, hang out, throw the questions in. But there was something special, and I totally forgot, and I'm even looking at it right now. So, with our sponsor, Sonic.
Love Sonic.
I went to Sonic because right now they have half-price blasts. Small and mediums are half price all day today.
So are blasts the
cheesecake blast?
That's like cheesecake, Oreo blast, Reese's blast,
like the ice cream.
Yeah,
the ice cream with the stuff in them.
Everything's half price. Text my wife and send her to Sonic. Hang on.
Well, make sure you're listening to what's going on though.
Is that in the app?
You got to listen.
Yeah, it's in the app, or you can actually show up and just give them a certain code. I don't know what that code is without looking. But okay, so I got those for the kids while they were here, and I got a drink. I decided that I'm gonna go with Ace on this, and I'm gonna try a vanilla cherry Coke with lime. I have not tried this at all This is my drink for tonight, by the way, that I got. So
much
this
better.
sucks. This is going to be terrible.
So you're going to try it right now for the first time?
I'm trying it right now for the first time.
It's going to suck.
Here we go.
It's terrible.
It's okay. It's pretty.
He's being nice. He hates it. Look at his face.
He's shaking up real good.
I should get up real good. Usually,
Yeah.
cherry sits at the bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
It's,
I have had that before.
He doesn't like it. Look at him. Choke it down.
I think the ice has melted a lot, so I can't. I mean, it's half. I waited too long to try this.
All I'm hearing are excuses. He doesn't like it.
I'll buy it.
I can't taste
the fresh one.
I can't taste the vanilla as much, so it's cherry lime, which isn't that bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I can drink it at least.
I got to
It's
get
not
him
funky.
one live. I got to get him a fresh one.
So, anybody out there wants to try the Ace Special Cherry Vanilla Coke
with lime? Gotta have the lime in there.
After that wonderful review from one of 3 lizard gods over there. So
okay, so I did also try yesterday the slush with the little burst balls or whatever they are in it.
I gotta try that. I gotta do that today, bro.
Don't.
okay.
Don't.
So do you have to chew the balls?
You have to pop the bubble.
You have to chew the balls. Go ahead and say it. You have to chew the balls.
You gotta suck the juice out of the balls, and it just leaves this plasticky thing in your mouth. And like I had a couple stick to the roof of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It was not.
Are the balls?
It was
small
not
enough?
pleasurable.
Are the balls small enough?
I don't know. Are they,
straw,
Shane?
Or do they get stuck in the straw?
No, they get stuck on the straw, and you basically have to suck it through. And I had one get stuck in the straw.
That's a poor design choice.
That is definitely a flaw in that.
That's a poor design choice.
But it tastes like sour apple. So sour apple with whatever you're drinking. There's like a blueberry or a cherry, I think.
You can't get different flavor balls. There's only sour apple.
Only sour apple balls. Only sour balls. It's all we got here.
Can't get them through the straw.
Can't get them through the straw. That's the biggest disappointment in that.
Sucking.
So, anyways, stay away from that one. But the half price blasts all day, that's something you should do because those are always good. I always get Oreo and I add chocolate syrup. So when they mix it, it makes it chocolatey, extra chocolatey.
Dude, since you just said the word Oreo, and this is totally off topic, but we're on a tangent streak today, so I'm going to continue this. I walk into Target.
Where are we going with Oreo?
I'm walking to Target a little bit earlier, right? And we're just wandering around, and I found full packages of Oreos for $1. They had some NBA themed Oreos, and I guess for some reason they're on clearance now. So I bought 5 packages of Oreos today.
You know, it's crazy. Sarah, she's on this thing where she's like very streaky on things that because she was in the hospital, right? Jared and them gave a super nice basket for her, and they was like, what are her favorite treats? I'm like, well, I don't know this week. So anyways, when you said Oreos, her thing, like when she finally got her diet ban lifted in the hospital, she's like, I need the reverse Oreos. Like she's never had the ones with the vanilla cookie.
Is it the vanilla cookie with the chocolate in the middle? Or is it still the white cream filling?
I couldn't tell you, but all I know is I wanted the golden Oreos versus the chocolate Oreos. And it was like so specific because it was like she didn't ask me once. She asked me multiple times, like, I need these Oreos. And you would have thought I had just given her the winning lottery ticket. She wanted those Oreos so bad, but it was just so sorry with the Oreo story.
You can't go wrong with Oreos, man. And for $1,
Nabisco should be sponsoring us. That's
$1, dude. If Nabisco wants to send me some Oreos, I will plug you all day.
Pay us at Oreos, golden and normal. You got us.
We'll try all the new flavors too.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I've seen some
orange cream Oreos.
Yeah, no.
No,
thank you.
I do like.
I'll pass on that one.
Is that like those orange popsicles?
Yeah, the filling, like it's still chocolate, but it'll be the orange cream filling in the middle.
Now I have had the Halloween Oreos, but I think that's just the normal filling dyed orange.
Just dyed, yeah.
Which is, I'm all about it. Like I mean, black and orange. Other than Oklahoma State, it's a brilliant combination.
Last Oreo question, since we're such in a deep dive.
Let's do it.
Stuff, thin or regular?
Double stuff. Like if I'm gonna sit down and have like 15 Oreos, it can't be double stuff. If I'm gonna have like 5 Oreos, then double stuff them. But if I'm just gonna sit down and like binge a whole like row of Oreos, it's got to be regular. I don't like thins.
So what I hear is you can't be double stuffed.
Too much for him.
That's not a problem. Speechless.
Okay, I don't know where this podcast is going, guys, but
hey, we having fun tonight, man.
I got nothing on that.
The nerd podcast on double stuff.
Are you proud that you can be double stuffed? Is that what you're getting at over there? Like,
I don't eat Oreos. So
is this on your resume? Like, I'm all about the double stuff. Like, bring it.
I just want to know what you can take.
I haven't tried, guys. I haven't tried.
He doesn't do the thin, but he knows he can't do the double stuff.
No, he's got to be prepared for the double stuff. You got to tell him in advance.
Yeah, I gotta know. I gotta prepare, and I've got to make sure that things are prepped. Okay. All right, we got to put in the prep work. We can't just walk into that blind. Come on, guys.
What are you doing, babe? I'm getting prepared.
I'm doing my exercise.
He's doing his mouth cues.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay. Okay, my eyes are watering now.
Oh my gosh.
That was good. Okay.
Always willing to put in the work, guys. Always got to be willing to put in the work.
Marauders cast, not for your kids.
Oh my gosh, that was good.
Oh god.
Okay, so let's get out of that hole. I don't know if I can stop. Okay, let's get on to what Gina Carano posted.
Oh, really? Oh man.
Okay, so
all right.
So Star Ace Wars posted this, so I'm going to let kind of Ace go on with this and talk about it for just a second.
Yeah, so there's been rumors ever since her firing or ever since then that she's coming back to Star Wars. They re-released the toys. They re-released an interview that she had. And so there was a picture that she posted. And with this picture, of course, people immediately speculated that, oh, Disney came to their senses, that she's coming back. So here's the picture. And you guys can kind of judge for yourself.
It's super elusive.
I mean, it's 100% a tease of Star Wars.
Like, I disagree.
No. This is what I'm saying. It's meant to make you think Star Wars. Like,
yeah, okay.
It 100% evokes a Star Wars
feel.
Like, yeah. Yes, you look at it, you think, oh, look, the multiple suns. Like, it's obviously not Tatooine because there's 3 of them, but it is 100% meant to make you think Star Wars. But I think it's a troll. I'll let you finish, Ace.
No. That's exactly where we were going with it. I think it 100% is a troll, and I'm all here for it. My thing is that obviously I wish she was still in Star Wars. I don't think that anyone should be let go for their thoughts and opinions, even though we've had this conversation about them being the company. They can choose what they want to do, but I do feel like it was a little discriminatory towards that direction for them to let her go. I mean, we have, episode 8 goes over y'all's head all the time, and I still talk to y'all, so I don't
really. I just
that's
think,
where you went with that, huh?
Never mind.
I just had to slip that in.
Never mind. All right, hold on. I gotta order my blast while he talks stupid stuff about episode 8. Hold on.
All I'm saying is I think it's definitely a trolling picture. And, many of her fans commented on it, basically saying like, maybe Disney got their act together and welcome back. People are really here for her character still. So, it is something. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think that maybe you let season 3 go without Gina Carano, but you bring her back for season 4. time heals all wounds. So
this is my thinking. First off, I feel like it's a total troll move on her part. I think it's just her way of getting the Star Wars fans like to go nuts. I don't think that if she was back with Disney, I don't think this is how we would find out. I really don't. So it's a brilliant move on her part because one, whatever she's working on right now, she's got everybody excited. And anything she posts like this that gets the Star Wars fans is just going to build momentum for whatever project she's working on. And then if you start dropping hints now, maybe you get some of the fan base a little less don't, and I'm not saying all the fan base wanted her gone, but the ones that did, maybe some of them are just like, all right, whatever. They could start dipping her toe back in the water for bringing her back in. I don't have a problem if she comes back. I really don't. But my thinking is if Pedro was the problem with her, if there was an issue with those two, like he didn't like the stuff that she posted, then just leave her out of The Mandalorian. Because
I don't think that's what it was, though.
No, I don't know. I know that they butted heads, but I thought they patched it up. I'm just saying if you don't have to bring her back into The Mandalorian because she was going to go off and do the Ace. What's the name of the show that she was going to?
Rangers of the Republic.
Yes. So if she was going to be the lead for Rangers of the Republic, you've already set that up with the Republic giving her the badge and stuff like that. So you've already set that series up. So, continue production on that. I know it's canceled right now, but continue production on that. It'll obviously be a couple years before we see anything. Then you could reintroduce Gina through Rangers of the Republic. And it doesn't have to, The Mandalorian can be its own thing, and then she can go off with her own series. So I'm not opposed to her coming back. However you feel about her getting fired, I'm solidly on the fence. I don't feel like she should have been, and then I'm not surprised Disney did it, especially in the culture we're in right now. So I think it's a brilliant move on her part, and I'm not opposed to them bringing her back. They did release the Bear Grylls episode with her in it after they had originally canceled it, so Disney's warmed up to her a little bit. I think her toy is back out there, and Disney's pushing hard right now for her to get an Emmy nomination for her work in The Mandalorian. So if Disney was anti-Gina, they wouldn't be doing the things they're doing. So I think we could be, paving the way for maybe her to dip her toe back into some sort of Disney-related project.
So I don't remember exactly why I know she had a couple times she said something. I don't remember 100% what it was. What was the last?
So basically, it was the reference to the Holocaust.
Yes.
That was what sealed it. But she already had rumblings of them looking for a way to get her out of there. As far as her riff with Pedro, them two didn't really have anything big like that.
Okay.
Pedro tried to talk to her about her post, basically. Like, look, man, this is why people are flipping out. Like, I understand you have your own platform or whatever, but this is how we should navigate forward. So he tried to educate her too on why people were offended by the post. So that's the dealings he kind of had with. But she was saying that Pedro has said some things too, and other cast members they all have feelings about different stuff that are similar to things that she said, but she was the one being more vocal about it. And she's like, I took the fall for what a lot of people felt. So
I could see that. Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead, talk, and then I'll ask my question because
I'm
specific to this style.
Again, however you feel about what happened to her, I don't think that there would be a massive. There'd be some backlash, but I don't think there'd be a massive amount of backlash if in a year or so you bring her back into the fold and you however you want to reintroduce her, you reintroduce her. Like at that point, she served her punishment, and we forgive and move on.
I don't think there would be any backlash, to be honest, because no more backlash than we regularly see for Star Wars.
Exactly.
That if she comes back and she plays her character well, it fits the story, it fits what's going on. This is not a political show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is about Star Wars. So the thing is that the conversations would be about Star Wars, like, I didn't like the way her outfit was or whatever, or her character wouldn't do that, but not so much like, I can't believe that. It'll be one episode that I can't believe they brought her back. Let's be honest, she wasn't in the Mandalorian episodes like that anyway. She was in like 2 or 3 episodes per season tops. So she's not like that main character. Now, season 3 could have been different because maybe they're going to Mandalore and she would have had a bigger role to transition her into Rangers. But even still, like just you have another series, the 2.5 of Mandalorian with the Book of Boba Fett. So you might as well put her in season 3, because by that time people would have been unforgot. So
that is true. And if you're going to bring her back, then just do it. Like, I don't know what her role was going to be going in the future, because I didn't know if it would diminish her role as we get into Rangers of the Republic. But I mean, they've already shelved Rangers of the Republic. So if you're bringing her back, then clearly they're going to unshelve that, start that project again. I mean, then just do it. Like, they didn't recast her character, which led me to believe that which leads me to believe that either that character didn't have a massive part in the future, or that they thought maybe this wouldn't be permanent for Gina. I mean, because if that character needed to continue, then you recast it and you move on. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, and it'd be nice to see her character. I mean, Rangers of the Republic sounded interesting, so I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. Before you ask your question, Jared.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna need redhead Gina to come on, and they need to change her hair color. That's all I got.
And
I'm gonna pull that up now that you said that. Actually, we'll show that. And while I'm showing or looking for it, I'll go ahead and ask my question. Okay, so we've kind of had this cancel culture where people say stuff, or they reach back into somebody's past and they say something about it, and then they want something done because of it. So one of my favorite TV shows all time, you can ask my wife, I even said that I wanted to mimic how I'm the kind of dad I am after the Cosby Show. And obviously Bill Cosby had some things that came up about him and women. But I go back to that show, and I love the show. I don't love what he did, but the show and his character and all that stuff, it makes you wonder, okay, I know you reflect on the person, but can you reflect on the character that they portrayed of what they did?
This is very simple for me. Dr. Huxtable didn't do anything to those women. Bill Cosby did. So when I'm watching the TV show, I'm watching, Dr. Huxtable. Same with like R. Kelly, right? R. Kelly's done some things. I'm an R&B singer by trade. I don't stop listening to R. Kelly because of the stuff that he, like, that's what Robert did. Robert did all of that.
Right.
R. Kelly made some of the greatest classics in music, because here's the thing: if we start exiling people for the mistakes that they made and the skeletons that they have in their closets, there's not many people we're going to have left. So my thing is, my job is not to judge. I can separate the person from the art. So that's easy for me. I know that might be a little difficult for other people, but for me, I'm a big person of, like, when it comes to, like, listen, I can't guide you in your life, but I can appreciate what you put out there. So that's where I'm at with it.
I mean, for me, I grew up watching the Bill Cosby Show. I mean, loved it.
It doesn't have to be the Cosby Show that I'm talking. I'm just saying, in general, it's that mentality of, even Michael Jackson, the things that they said about him, but his stuff is ridiculous. I mean, but do you blame
Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, I mean, we have tons of great actors. I mean, people that we look up to for what they do, but behind the scenes, they did stuff that, nobody would normally get away with.
If you do something criminal, look at Bill Cosby. Is he still in prison? I think he's going to be in prison. He's going to be in prison forever.
He just lost his parole hearing too. That's actually what brought it up when I saw that. He's probably going to die. He's probably going to die in prison. Like, I love his work, but if he did what he did, which he got convicted. If he did what he did, then he's getting what he deserves. Like, well, but I could still watch it today and not think like, he's an SOB, he's in prison. Like, like Ace said, he said it perfectly. That character is a character, and I love that show. Like, I could still watch that show today, but he's getting his punishment, so I can separate the two.
The other thing too, right? Like, those actors that were in the show, they all get residuals from those replays, and so the thing is, if you pull that show, that's taking money from them, and they had nothing to do with that.
Nothing.
And so my thing is, again, that character is not the person who did those terrible things, and again, that's not even for me to judge. That's not me. For me, I'm appreciating the art, not the person. You know what I'm saying? But like, I can still watch House of Cards with Kevin Spacey. You know, none of again that stuff that happened. That's Kevin Spacey. I'm here for Frank. So
my thing with it is like those are the past stuff is in the past, but like Kevin Spacey and Kevin Spacey did he ever get convicted of something?
It was out of the no, because it was it was past the statute of limitations.
Okay. So my thinking is if you did a criminal act and one like Bill Cosby's in prison, like I could see nobody wanting to cast them ever again, and I don't have a problem with that. Like, but I mean, like touching the stuff that already happened in the past, like I don't think so. Like I don't think you need to pull the old shows, and I don't think you have to erase like all of his work from the planet. Like, I mean, people are going to watch it; they're going to know who Kevin Spacey or who he is, the other guy is. But I mean, like Bill Cosby. But I mean, like I don't think Kevin Spacey's going to get a job anytime soon. Like I just don't. I just don't. Now he hasn't been convicted, so I'm going to wash my hands of that. I don't know if he did it or not, but like. Right. If you've been convicted of something like that, especially what Bill Cosby did, like I don't think the man should ever work again. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like I don't think you could sell a family-run show with Bill Cosby nowadays. I really don't.
But I mean, is there? So that's the other thing, right? So is there a road to redemption? There was a comedian who I can't think of his name. He's a big comedian. He got hit with some charges of. Women were saying that he was performing sexual acts on the phone while they were on the phone and exposing himself. But now he's doing comedy again. And in his stand-up, he actually addressed that and said, blah, 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 blah. And hey, you either are, what I've done and you can be here and try to help me move forward, or, you don't have to watch me. And that's the thing. With the cancel culture and stuff like that, what people have to understand is this. It's okay if you don't like somebody, if you don't support somebody, if you don't want to ever support anything they do. It's okay for you to do that, but don't put your thoughts on anybody else. Because the thing is that that's what's wrong with cancel culture. I don't have to agree with you. Like we're going to run into a very big issue when we're trying to make sure that everybody's thought processes and morals align. That's not the way to go. That's how bad things have happened in this world in the past when we try to make sure that everybody has the same thought process. So we have to be careful with that.
I do feel like there are some things you cannot come back from. I mean, I tell my children this, like there are some things that you do that you cannot come back from. Like there just are. Like, and I'm not going to say what's something you can't come back from, but like,
this isn't the podcast probably for that.
But there are some things
I led us down this road. I'm sorry.
There are some things that you could do that you can't come back from. Like look, if you own it and you apologize and like you do your time, then so be it. Welcome back. But like, man, there's some stuff you can't come back from.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So to get this back on a lighter note, we're gonna go with lighter hair. There it is. Gina Carano, red hair. It looks good.
She need to come back to Star Wars, bro.
With the red hair.
Cara Dune, yes.
Cara Dune dyed her hair. It's where she's been. That's why she's not in season 3 of Mandalorian. She's not dyeing her hair.
It took that long to make her hair color red.
Yeah, no, I think she's plugging her new whatever it is she's working on with that guy.
100%. Yep. That's what it is.
And it's a brilliant picture. It's whatever show it is. Like, I don't even care if it's like a knockoff of Star Wars. Like, it's a brilliant picture. You're building hype for it.
I'm not gonna go what I was thinking. Let's go on to Loki. Double stuff.
This podcast, I monetize it all.
Let's go with Loki while we have time.
Yeah, still. Loki.
Okay, so episode 1, episode 2 just dropped yesterday. Episode 1 was last week, but okay, so I actually got to watch episode 1 right after we talked because I was irritated that I didn't know what was going on. And I definitely saw a lot of things that made me like the episode that weren't in the trailer that still made me go, man, I like this show. So I was pretty happy with the first episode. Second episode was really good, though, in my opinion. I liked where we we found out some of the things we found out. So I'm going to let whoever wants to go first kind of give their synopsis of what they loved and just what they thought. Go for it, whoever.
So, I mean, again, I've said from the beginning that I was not really that big into the Loki show as far as like looking forward to it. But again, I'm here for anything that they put out because obviously Marvel. Now, when it comes to the second episode, it was much better for me only because it was brand new stuff. I don't remember anything in it outside of the backstab joke. There was nothing really in it from the trailer, so it was all new stuff, and I'm kind of intrigued by the story now. So, yeah, I thought it was great, and the reveal of Lady Loki was great, which was interesting because we like when they were showing the hands at one point when they were messing with the little dial thing, it was man hands, but they did probably kind of explain that because throughout Loki jumped bodies the whole time. So I thought that was pretty cool because that could be a very interesting element. But overall, I thought it was good. I'm intrigued. I'm ready to see next week. I thought they left with a great cliffhanger. And yes, I love the reveal of the female Loki. So yeah, I'm in it.
I personally like the female Loki too. I mean, we've seen it in the comic books. I mean, Norse mythology with Loki, he's a woman sometimes. He can shapeshift. So I like it. I think it fits the character. Now, we haven't seen it much in the Marvel universe, but I think it's a neat introduction. I don't think we're going to get Tom Hiddleston turning into a girl, but I mean, like, it fits, the actual Loki character from the comics and from the mythology, which I enjoy. So I thought that was cool. I really like what the female Loki is doing. I think it's clearly setting up where we're going with Spider-Man and with specifically
Doctor Strange.
Thank you, Doctor Strange. I think we're seeing the seeds of that get planted. And it's really interesting to me when they keep talking about the organization that deals with time. What's their abbreviation?
TVA.
TVA.
The TVA, like the whole TVA thing is super interesting to me. And we keep seeing the three gods. We keep seeing them in statues and
I'm
like
one of them. What's that? Three lizard gods.
Yes,
and
we keep seeing the three lizard gods. I'm not one of them. I'm just Shane today. I'm boring. We keep seeing the three lizard gods, and we keep hearing Loki say, "Can I get a meeting with them?" So, like, obviously, it's setting up something super important. And like, I think, was it you that posted in our chat, Jared, the things that he had said about where this Loki's going to take us in the Marvel?
Talking about Kevin Feige.
Yes, yeah. So like, even Feige's saying this is going to have a bigger impact than probably anything we've seen. So like, in episode 2, they've already set up, like, I don't think you can undo what we've seen in episode 2. I really don't. Like, I think we're seeing the seeds for the future of the fourth season or fourth phase of Marvel in just 2 episodes. So I'm digging it. I just got to be honest with you. Is it Luke Wilson? I always get Owen. See, I get him and Owen Wilson mixed up every time.
All you got to do is think Luke. So just associate Luke, like Luke Skywalker, with old school, the old trilogy. So old school, the movie, Luke. Okay. And then Owen is going to be the knight.
So Luke Wilson is old school.
Yes. Frank the Tank.
Okay. God, that's such a good movie. That's such a good movie. Anyway, so like, I love Owen Wilson's character. I absolutely love his character. To me, like, look, Tom Hiddleston is Tom Hiddleston. He's amazing, but Owen Wilson to me is the star of this show. I love his character. I love like how he's driving the story, and honestly, I really like this storyline. I think it's really cool. Like how neat is it that Loki, even if it's a female Loki, is the one that's causing all the issues? So, spoiler alert. Sorry about that, but
this is all spoilers.
Okay. I mean, I love it. 2 episodes in, I mean, I'm hooked, and I want more of this.
And, before you say something, Jared, I will say the other thing that I really liked was that we had the conversation about thinking that the timekeepers probably don't exist, and that conversation that Owen Wilson had with the judge girl, that really set, I mean, you can sit in Loki's figuring some stuff out, and you can see that's the direction that they're going in.
How about the free will conversation that they had? Like, the free will conversation, like, I mean,
and he said we're the only ones.
Like, I mean, if you want to say that, like, there's no deviation from the timeline, and even when you start, we get into the apocalypse stuff, like, and they start showing us like the apocalypses, and it shows no divergent energy, like when the apocalypse stuff. So every single thing, according to this, is like has to happen in a specific timeline. So I dig it, man. I dig it. I really like it. And I'm not going to lie to you. I was totally wrong. I thought she was sending all the little timeline eraser things when she was dropping those through the portals. I thought she was sending them all to the timekeepers' homes. Since
I thought they were too.
I thought they were all going there, and I thought that's what we were going to see is like the destruction of the timekeepers. So that was kind of a surprise that she's sending them through the various points in the timeline. But I don't know, man.
But so how do we think? Okay, so everybody that's out there, that if you don't want to hear spoilers, obviously this is not the place to be for this part for Loki. No. Okay, well, here first, I'm going to read what I'm going to put it up here where everybody can see it. This is what Kevin Feige said about the Loki series. Loki is by far the biggest Disney Plus show that's going to have huge impact on the MCU moving forward. Loki will be crazier than WandaVision, and the audience are going to have a pure cinematic experience. And he also had said on another thing that's not on this, is that it directly reflects into why we have the multiverse of madness. And so we kind of got to see that because Lady Loki dropped all these time things that she's been collecting, and then you see the timeline just like splinters everywhere, and everybody's freaking out at the end of what the hell do we do? Everybody's but they have a code for this. There's an actual code that the guy, he's like flipping through the book, and he's like 099 something, whatever that was. So this has happened before, obviously, sometime.
Well, they showed us in the first episode it happening, and that was when the timekeeper stepped in
when
and
they started
created
like flipping over each other and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how this TVA got created. So I don't know, like
three wizard gods.
Yeah, when the big lizards came in, we're like, nope, we've already. And I thought it was really interesting, and Ace mentioned it when they were talking about them sitting on the couch and them having that conversation. And then somewhere in there, he mentioned that what are they doing right now? They're untangling the future.
They were doing
like monitoring.
Like
they're like monitoring.
Yes.
Well, the other thing too is because Owen's never met him. He's just like, listen, I just believe what they tell me, basically.
Right. Look at that. He had it brought to him.
I did not lie. I have a Butterfinger blast. So, thank you, Sonic, and my wife.
You're welcome, Sonic, because that's one that I talked into it.
100%. Like I would not. We were texting back and forth, and she was like, "You go get it." I'm like, "I can. I'm on the podcast." So, my lovely wife made a Sonic run.
That's awesome.
So,
that was a great handoff too.
100%. Oh, you want to? Where are you at? I'm over here.
Mine's not even the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but we can. There we go. See there. Yeah. Ace is so jealous over there. Look at his face. I'm sorry, Ace. I would have. If you were over here, I would buy you one right now, Ace.
I appreciate it.
You come visit me tonight, and I will buy you one.
Oh, Sarah's taking care of me. She got me something else, but they're not a sponsor, so I won't name them on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can't talk about non-sponsors.
So, yeah. So, anyways, so back on the Loki series. So she dropped in all these little pores. The one thing I hadn't seen before is we haven't seen Loki like possess somebody in their body. That was like a normal thing with like the Tesseract, or not the Tesseract. The what was the thing on the Mind Stone?
Yeah.
Right. So when he puts that on people, and they open their eyes and they see something different. But this is where we actually he's taken over somebody, and he can do whatever they want, or whatever he wants. Whatever she wants, I guess it's female. But anyways, so that was pretty cool, actually seeing a new power, because they go through that list of Lokis, and they've got one that looks like the Hulk with just like huge horns, which is pretty awesome. So it'd be pretty cool to see some of these extra Lokis besides just the female version. See some of the big, huge guys and some of the different styles and different powers that Loki could have.
It was cool when they showed us the different variants. We saw the pictures of like the different styles of Loki, which was neat. So,
yeah. Anything else on that? What else? Where do you think we're going to go with this now that we've broken up the timeline? Is like freaking out.
Well, now they're going to be hunting this Loki because obviously they let him loose. Even though I think he was starting to believe what Owen Wilson's character was telling him, So I think I think Owen was on the right path as far as like, yo, we can't catch this other one because this is the real Loki. Like, I don't know what you like the cheap Loki, this Loki over here. So I think he's like trying to figure out like, whoa, what is it about this Loki and what is this Loki's timeline? And why are the timekeepers allowing this Loki to do this stuff if they're so big on stopping variants? So it's the intrigue is there. So
yeah, and
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He keeps poking the Loki that we see though, like, you're not as smart as this Loki. This Loki is way more clever, has better powers. Hey, I know that you always want to be better than somebody, right? You're not the best, and he's over here going, I'm the superior Loki, and he keeps poking him, saying, "No, you're not. No, you're not." Trying to get on that nerve that he has of superiority that we always see from Loki. What were you going to say?
I totally lost it. Totally lost it. I was having
blast.
I was having some of my Butterfinger blast and just gone. Totally gone. It was good. Whatever it was, it would have been brilliant, but
I'm sure it would have.
Alas, what can we do?
Anyways, so Loki has been a good series so far for me. I definitely, it's definitely better than I thought it was going to be as far as what y'all said from last week. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
I'm liking it.
I knew I was the minority on it when it, as far as like people loving it. I've heard nothing but good things from other people about it, and that's fine. I'm here for it. It's kind of like Joey was with Captain America. Like he was kind of like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I mean,
anybody that likes episode 8, you really have to take their opinion with a very large grain of salt. Just gonna throw that out there. Like, if he has that much faith in episode 8, like, come on, are you gonna take his opinion when it comes to Loki?
If we're talking about choices,
what?
I mean, we had a conversation on choices just a few
gonna
days
attack
ago.
Me?
Oh, I'm not gonna drop it.
Are you going to attack me?
I'm not going to drop it on here.
I felt very unnecessary. You're supposed to be on my side when it comes to getting enough place over
we're
here.
talking about choices, and you got some choices that just don't work.
I'm totally lost.
Pixie boy.
Pixie
sticks.
Look, I found out, and look, in my defense, I found out that I am not the only person I know that eats a pixie stick that way. Okay? My daughter does it, and I've never had a pixie stick with my daughter.
Your daughter?
And my father does it, and I have never had a pixie stick with my father.
There you go. It's a family of goats.
It's a family of whatever it takes. Like, look, I'm not even going to say it because you know what? We're not going to have this out here on the podcast forever. But I eat a pixie stick a very specific way, and I'm being judged for it. And I don't think that it's necessary.
I'm not judging.
Ace did not judge me. And I appreciate that. And I did take a needless shot at him in episode 8, but that was only because he took an episode 8 shot earlier. So I'm just returning fire.
I was gonna let you get it off. I knew you had to use it was built up, pinned inside.
You can't make a comment and not expect me to come back at some point in the next month. Like,
it's all good.
It's gonna happen.
Are we gonna hit the other topic?
Are we talking about?
I'm gonna eat this
the Bad Batch.
Yeah,
the last episode of Bad Batch. Yes, let's talk about that real quick. So, I felt like this was already coming anyways for this episode. So I think for me, it was a little less. And also some people threw out stuff on Twitter. So I kind of knew what was going on. So it didn't hit me as it should have probably. So,
well, it wasn't that big of a surprise, unless we're talking about two separate things, but there were two big things that kind of happened in the episode. Obviously they've been hinting for a while that Wrecker had something going on with his head. And finally, we saw the turn of him going towards Order 66. So that was pretty cool. They had to fight him off and, finally was able to successfully remove the chip from all of the clones, all of the 99 clones' heads. But we had a guest appearance by none other than Rex. And so that was a great, great reveal to see him and him talking about removing his chip, because obviously he had his removed in the last Clone Wars series, which I've been rewatching Rebels, and he still has the same scar of the removal on there. So I just like the consistency there. So yeah, it was to me, it was a good episode because I think that was the hint of, okay, we got to get Crosshair back and get the chip out of his head.
Right.
Is that what we're setting up towards? Because I'm a couple episodes behind.
I think that's what we're setting up for. Last episode was another one of those, you need to go here and get this in order for me to help you get here type episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they brought in the chicks from the Clone Wars, the ones that was helping Ahsoka in those first 4 episodes, the Puerto Rican chicks. That's who that episode was about. It's nothing really big. It's just one of those run of the mill, you need to go here and I'll give you information if you get this.
And there has to be, they have to be setting up something. I mean, just from the general Star Wars timeline, like we see Tarkin and the other guy that's working with Tarkin right now, that's over the program. We see kind of like, I don't like clones, but we have all these extra clones. Are we going to use them? So we haven't seen the Empire definitively break away from using clones yet. So I think that this series can, if they go and they get Crosshair back, and they take out his chip, I think we could see like this could be the driving force that breaks the Empire away from the clones completely. And I think that this series could finally explain that.
Well, they already kind of did that a little bit because Crosshair led a group of people that they hand selected out to go on the mission, and he killed the one guy. So I think they're already doing that. I think that was the whole point of what Tarkin watched them, because he was like, the clones are just, they can't shoot, they trash. To see them
any better?
Huh?
Are stormtroopers actually any better?
No, they're not. But I mean, at the same time, again, that's Tarkin's way of thinking. Yeah. And of course, that all ties into even the Aftermath series with, General Hux's dad and all of that. So, yeah, I mean, all of it is, like you said, is having that connective tissue. So,
yeah.
But I know big things.
I know the Kaminoans made a comment after, the whole Tarkin thing. They made a comment as they were walking. They're like, we don't want to lose the Empire's business. So at least from the Kaminoan standpoint, they still don't think they've lost the Empire's business. So I think we're going to have to see something that clearly drives a wedge between the Empire and the Kaminoans to finally break the clone. I mean, obviously, at least we think that Palpatine's still working with the Kaminoans, but like something has to finally definitively end the clone program.
I think this is where they find out, like, they need that, because they already set it up by saying Jango Fett's DNA is already breaking down, so they need a new subject. They need something new in order to entice the Empire. Like, hey, we might not be able to do clones anymore, but we can clone Jedis. So maybe they've taken one of the fallen Jedi from Order 66 and are using their DNA in order to recreate something to repurpose for a Sith trooper or something.
Yeah. And that's something we know that Palpatine would use, because you look at everything that is utilized through the Clone Wars mainly, and I mean, but you look at the Inquisitors, who aren't Sith, but they're Force power users. So I mean, like if we're saying that Palpatine, was working with cloning and stuff like that, then clearly Palpatine's doing everything he can to clone as many Sith as he can, or at least come up with some sort of like Force sensitive army, even if it's not like to the level of a Jedi or to the level of Vader. Just something, like we see with the Inquisitors that can use Force powers, but maybe not to the level of an actual Sith, because we still do have the rule of two, and Palpatine does believe in the rule of two. So
maybe this is the reveal of the hand, of Luke's hand.
Now, see, that would be cool. That would be cool. As someone who does not like 7, 8, and 9, like I'm not opposed to seeing things that make that series make a little more sense.
They're gonna have to do it. I mean, it's one of those things they have to commit. It's over. It's set. That's their canon. So they
can't undo it.
But the beautiful piece about it is, because we know the end game, it is cool that they can fill in the gaps with. I mean, we've seen it. We talked about it earlier, as far as like even watching the Clone Wars and how much more that enriched Episode 3. So it's definitely possible for them to fill in the gaps to make it more digestible for 7, 8, 9 for everybody.
Yeah, and I'm totally fine with that. Like, if you give me more Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian season 3, Mandalorian season 4, like, I can get over what they did with Luke to 7, 8, and 9. Like, just give me some Luke in his prime.
We would have to go pretty far though to be in the Bad Batch.
Well, is that the thing is though, it's not a limited series, so we can very well get there.
Right.
And yeah, we get 4 or 5 or 6 seasons of the Bad Batch. I mean, we're going to be right there in the timeline, in the middle of that, with the whole rebellion and Luke Skywalker and all that. So we're not that far away.
Yeah, I mean,
we're gonna have to time jump.
Rebels is still before the Death Star, isn't it? We don't have the Death Star yet in Rebels.
It's the lead up to the Death Star, so
yes,
yeah. So it's leading into it, and I think the later Rebels, once they kick the Empire out, I think I think the later seasons are right there, coming into the end of the war.
Yeah, but all they have to do in Bad Batch, they don't have to be successful on the cloning. They just have to start the process.
Exactly.
Introduce it like this is the new plan. Because we do know, like we said, from the Aftermath series, that Palpatine had a plan with some sort of cloning program on Jakku and this, that, and the other. So all they need to do is plant the seeds, just like how they did with, having Grogu and the Death Troopers. So all it is about planting the seed.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, and even if let's say we only get 3 seasons of this show, and like you show a tease at the end of one of these seasons of like, hey, we have something for you, and they bring it into the Kaminoans, and it's a hand in a jar or something, like everybody's gonna know what that is. Like you don't have to set that up. You don't have to waste an episode on it. Like literally, all you have to do is show us a hand in a jar going to the Kaminoans, and then we get it. We can tie all the theories together. Like you could do this really easy without wasting any time on it. But you can build the foundation to make it more digestible for what we got with 7, 8, 9. At least
you can even show Maz Kanata selling them the hand.
That would be neat. That would be neat. And they could say, "What about the saber?" or something like that. You could even throw in a tease into why she kept the saber.
Yeah.
So she could be like, "Oh, we never found that. We just found his hand." So like, there's some really cool stuff you could do that could, just neat tie-ins. It's not hard to do, and obviously with Filoni running this, like, I mean, he's the kind of guy that's going to do those sorts of things. You look at what he's done with the Clone Wars, like he works these things in so seamlessly. So I'm excited.
Sounds good.
Well, we get the new episode tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. We know that they have their chip out, and we'll see where they're going. And we know that at some point they're going to call on Rex, or Rex is going to call on them. So we got that at the very end too. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to always the interconnection that we have. And we'll stop there. We love you guys. Love you guys too. Even the double stuff Oreo over there. We love you.
Keep dreaming.
Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Thursday, 7:30.
Talk nerdy.
Out. Always talk nerdy.